Okay. Need to do one thing that I have so consistently forgotten to do lately, and we'll be able to get this ball rolling. One of these days I'll actually remember to turn the damn bot on again before I push that button. Today isn't that day though, so bear with me a minute. There we go. Well, that was an interesting fact I just saw. You know what? I'm just not gonna acknowledge that further right now. We're just not gonna worry about that. Anyway, we're just gonna hop back into some Rogue Genesia for a little bit because I have nothing in the tank right now. Like, I am worn even with an energy drink in me. So, probably only gonna go for a couple hours, couple runs, just do a few things here and there. I did look through my achievements to see what I could unlock. That way, you know, we had a bit of a purpose here today. Some of these are a little weird that I don't have, and I think it was I think I know what happened. Is there was a beta branch for a while that I was on, and I think a couple of the weapons I had unlocked on that branch, so I didn't get to keep them. Is the situation changed, etc. There's a bunch of effects you get by being the summoner. I don't think I'm gonna show the summoner off too much today. Is the summoner honestly is kind of boring from what I played of it after I got it last time we showed this off. That said, there is a way I could use it, but I don't really know if I want to, because especially for showing it to you guys, I think it would be incredibly dull. I could just autopilot all of the remaining, like, get X time in survival mode achievements probably by just sitting there with the summoner and just cheating the system horribly. I mean, to a certain degree, I suppose I should at least show you guys the summoner right quick, just so you understand why I say that. Just to give you an idea of the talents they get. All their summons move faster, summons gain defense every time they take damage, summons gain damage every time they deal damage, and I have no slots left to use any of those because each of their weapons ends up being one of those passive talents, and that proved to be more useful. We're just gonna dive right into, is it rank D that I want? Because rank E I know gave us the one thing. Yeah, rank E would give us that. C gives us that. Does D, yeah, D would need to be 45 minutes. I don't know if I want to do that. I think if I'm gonna do one, I may as well do the rank E one just so we get Rift. I'll just sit there with the summoner for half an hour. This is when this immediately backfires on me and makes me look like an idiot. And you know what? I'd be fine with that. If anything, that would be funny. So, as you might imagine, the summoner works by summoning things. You can get goblins, golems, eyes. There are other summons, but these are the ones you start with when you first unlock the summoner. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the goblins. And behold, I have my own little army of goblins, and they just wreck everything. That's just how they do. Now, the thing that made me lose interest in the summoner was not necessarily how potent the summoner is. It's actually how a bunch of things don't seem to really affect the summoner, and yet you still have those cards anyway. Like, the majority of cards don't seem to affect the summoner's summons. Like, obviously things like defense, piercing, and such would affect them. And some of it is listed how it does it, though it doesn't list on the cards. I believe it was... Yeah, see, all of these tags tell you what they're affected by. But it's kind of unclear. Like, if we look here, this is in fact impacted by power. This is affected by our own health. Our move speed and projectile speed affects their speed. Yeah, there's the defense piercing I was talking about. How long they last, how long between summoning them. The summon cap, I think, is one of the ones that's unique in that I don't think there's any cards that affect it directly other than upgrading the summon card. Now, that said, hang on. No, that looks right. Just a few other things didn't look right, so I was double checking something because it seemed odd. Yeah, we can just kind of zoom around picking things up while they go forth and destroy everything. Especially here in survival mode, it's going to take a hot minute before this becomes even remotely dangerous. I'm going to keep raising the duration, because I've never seen someone's timeout to begin with when I was testing the summoner out before. But just in case. Oh yeah, and all the location-specific stuff is available by default here in survival mode, by the way. But this is one of the ones that was not showing... Okay, it's working now. This is what I was talking about when I said this was going to make a liar out of me immediately. This is not the part I was expecting to make a liar out of me, but either way. I think it was some of the, like, ice effects and such were not equipping and was not allowing me to equip them. So I thought they just straight up didn't work. Okay, so it's not as bland as I thought it was. That's a slight improvement over what I had my first impression be, at least. But like you'll notice, we haven't even upgraded these goblins or anything yet, and we are more or less unstoppable already. Like, I can roll around at full speed and I feel resoundingly unthreatened. Like, I only took a modicum of damage there because I purposely slammed face first into that bat. Like, I feel like the summoner might be in need of a bit of a rebalance. It's to make it difficult. And it may just be that the summoner is purely meant to be used at the high end too, like it's primarily intended to be used
Hello there.
Up at like B and A rank. Hey there, Callista, how you doing? Like, I genuinely don't know what place the summoner has in the actual design here. Like, look at all these enemies on screen, and it just doesn't matter. Our summons just run right through them all anyway, and it's a bit of a joke. They are starting to struggle a little bit because these are the only summons I have. There we go, now we can summon a couple more, and that should help ease their burden a bit. When I had tested this in the regular mode, I think I went in at C rank, and I was able to get all of the summon cards, like, one right after the other. So maybe it was just I got a really lucky cascade that made this ridiculous straight out the gate. But it does still seem very, very immediately potent. Hell yeah. Glad to hear that's still going well. We may as well keep taking the upgrades on the Rune of Heaviness. Because our attack speed really only impacts how quickly we summon new goblins, and as you've seen, we haven't really been needing to summon new ones, so we can just let them tear through the ranks of their own kind. As we just vaguely, menacingly float nearby. You know... yeah, they're not mutually exclusive. I keep forgetting that they're not. So that kind of balances out the rune of heaviness we have on anyway. And now we can have even more goblins. I think it caps at like 20 once you reach max rank for the Goblin's Ear. Gets silly. And this is just with one summon weapon on. We can get more. They just have to actually show up. Sure, make my summons faster. Mind you, the attack speed's not making them faster, it just makes us summon more of them faster. If I got some projectiles... Yeah, this is the one that didn't work before. It's working now. Okay. It must just have been a bug when I encountered it before, when I tested Summoner the first time. So I retract some of my statement about Summoner being boring, other than it being typical Summoner issues of you sit here and do nothing. But that's also how this game is in any case when you're doing well, is you just kind of sit there and let things happen. Yeah, if I raised our projectile speed, it would make our summons move faster, but I have no need to do so. I'm gonna go ahead and banish Brawl, because I'm never gonna use it. And then suddenly the Smash community is angry with me. I don't know if additional projectiles even has a function here. It might if we had summons that had projectiles, which you can get, because I saw them in the unlock list. I just don't have any. I have no need for more attack speed, particularly at this point. Actually, you know what? I need to know. If I lower my projectile size, do my goblins get smaller? They do. They do actually get smaller. So what if I just get an army of tiny goblins? Just tiny little goblins. I mean, obviously Bloodthirst, yes. Because we're just gonna constantly get Bloodthirst stacks and it's gonna be ridiculous. No questions here. Just free for nothing power. Speaking of free for nothing power. Not that any enemies have been surviving contact with my goblins anyway, but future proofing. Ooh! This is the fun thing about the survival mode, is instead of needing to finish stages to get artifacts, whenever you defeat elites and such, artifacts drop, much like any other Survivor style game. Every banished card makes you stronger, reroll every time you select cards. You can't really read this one, but this is the one that works off of dashing, giving you a bunch of benefits. It doesn't really help us here. I'm actually gonna reroll this. Sure, all new soul cards start at level 2. That'll be huge, actually. Because, like, I could go for this one and gain ridiculous attack speed, even though that won't help us right now. Because you notice it goes 0 to 2. That's what it means by all new cards start at level 2. You skip having to purchase one of the cards. It only benefits the first level, though, which is inconvenient. Though we do have a bonus that makes tainted cards gain an extra level already, so this one goes from 0 to 3 straight away, which starts to make these a little bit more worthwhile. Not that I'm going to take it right now anyway. Let's start getting our XP gain back up. Because otherwise we are going to peter out rather quickly and it's going to be sad. Because right now the biggest excitement I'm going to have is Number Go Burr while I watch the carnage unfold. I am probably going to be a foolish brave man and try to do another gunslinger run today. I might also try to do a single weapon run as well, because I still want to do one of those. But we'll see what Brain decides it wants to do as we get to other runs. Because unless I somehow manage to get myself killed here, this is going to be a half hour of remembering how things work and watching goblins stab things for me. Though they are starting to die off, so it might actually stop working sooner than it did in regular mode. Which makes a degree of sense, actually, because they're not getting fresh resummoned as often, because I'm not re-entering stages constantly. where they get resummoned for free. But what if I put lightning on my goblins? Go, electro goblins. You know what? Sure, double damage, half health. Why not? Guaranteeing on contact everything dies. And they're goblins. They're mostly expendable, so fine. I just keep sending more of them forth. I don't even know where they're coming from. I'm just kind of making them out of nothing, so that which is created from nothing can return to nothing, and nothing has changed. Whee. Oh no, the mushroom circle. Nom 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 nom. Delicious free experience. There we go. Every soul gem I pick up gives me an experience multiplier for a little bit, which with the frequency with which we collect a lot of them at once means ridiculous things will happen for our experience. Go ahead and get our projectile speed back up so that our goblins are moving back at full speed. Now, our own move speed is a part of the calculation for their speed too. So if I hamstring myself too hard speed-wise, they are going to start to suffer. We do need to get our base power up more. Also, what kind of equipment is this guy rocking right now? Because I did sit there and farm a bit more equipment and things like that. Nothing too crazy. For the most part, I just kept getting garbage, and I was kind of sad about it. Yeah, we do have one power multiplier drop in here, but it was giving flat power and flat power per level, which is why I kept this. Like right now, we're in the positives for base power, but our total looks okay. Total looks okay. Yep, our goblins are actually starting to falter now because there's so much on screen here. This is why I wanted the summoner for survival mode, though, is I figured this would be the way to challenge the summoner if there was a way to make it challenging for the summoner. Because the numbers just wear the army down over time. So it kind of works itself out. Let's go ahead and boost our max health so our goblins get some more health. Because they are going to start needing health in order to be able to trim the horde down more efficiently. Yep, that's absolutely fine. Because I'm pretty sure our defense affects their defense as well. So when we nerfed our defense, that's what led to them getting shredded. There we go, we now have a new summon weapon because we killed a bunch of mushrooms with the summoner, so now the summoner understands mushrooms. Which is a sentence. It's a sentence that can certainly turn the wrong way if you think about it in a certain direction. I do kind of wish I could direct my summons a little more, rather than them just running on their own volition. Like, tell them, hey, focus on this side so I don't get eaten. Like right now, where they were running around mindlessly, and now we're in trouble because there's nothing left to defend me. There we go. Yeah, this is more dicey than I thought it was going to be, and I'm pleased about that. Because we're only 7 minutes in, and it's starting to get a little spooky. There you go. Start firing icicles when you do combat goblins. Yes, yes. Fire all the icicles so we trim their numbers faster. Especially since you'll be trimming the numbers without having to make contact, which will reduce the loss of health. Yeah, I'm leaning more towards I just got an incredibly lucky roll the first time, perhaps. Or as I said initially, that this is the mode that is what the summoner's better off doing for making it interesting. I don't really want any of this. I don't need that. You know what? Sure. Damage mitigation to keep them alive. Not that all of that health and defense seems to be doing much for them when they go slamming into like 30 enemies in 5 seconds and eviscerate their own health bars. Yep, there we go. 20 goblins is our cap for goblin summoning. If I get my attack speed up, I can more consistently keep a full set of goblins out. But it seemed more interesting to let the situation be risky. There's a food box there. Which that is one problem the summoner does have, is the summoner has no means of directly attacking, so the summoner cannot break their own boxes and such. They have to lead a summon into the box to open it for them. Can't open my own jar of pickles. There we go, now we got the situation back under control again. There was a brief and shining moment where the summoner was in danger, and then, well, now it's back to this. Though we are being shot at, which means we are once again somewhat in danger. Ooh, they're starting to survive me hitting them. Yikes. That's not how that's supposed to work. You're supposed to die when you were killed. Though watching the mass of them get pushed back by the chain lightning goblins is pretty funny. Oh, there we go. We unlocked the goblin hand now as well. This was the other reason why I wanted to do survival mode with the summoner, though, is this seemed like the fast way to unlock all of the summoner weapons. And maybe that'll make the summoner more interesting, is having more types of summons available. Rather than just, oh, eyeballs, goblins, rock boys that spin around you. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think we have any concerns for area size. Actually, area size might affect the radius that the golems circle you, probably. Sure, Gilgamesh's crown is fine. Just gotta hold this together for 20 more minutes to unlock the rift thing. Yeah, what does the blue one do? Defense, okay. That will actually help keep the goblins alive, so it's not the worst thing. Not that they've been having too much trouble anymore, but it can't hurt. Also, the audio seems slightly louder than it was last time. Is this loud? No, it's fine. At least it looks fine. It's not even halfway up the meter, so it might even be quiet for you guys. Go ahead and keep grabbing 4-leaf clover. I don't have any effects on that reduce the amount of weapon cards I'm getting, so I wonder why I haven't seen another summon card. I definitely had a run literally a few days ago that allowed me to have the goblins, the eyes, the golems, and I think that was all I had because that was all the summons I had unlocked. And let me tell you, you were genuinely untouchable. I had to throw that run hard in order to lose that one. but I didn't have much time at the time I did it, was why I threw that run away. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just step in, try Summoner for a few minutes.
Hello there.
Realized it was basically immortal. Hey there, Lixie, how you doing? Welcome to me watching goblins do all my work. You too, huh? I definitely feel you on the EP. That's why I'm doing something simple today. Just delegating to an army of goblins. Which, now that I say that out loud, thinking of Goblin Commander on the PS2 and realizing, you know, that's a thing I could show off, and then realizing, no, that would be a terrible idea, is that game is a thing. Yeah, brain no worky so goody. It's okay. There we go, get that power going. Nom 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 nom. Just deleted that elite immediately. Y'all stand no chance against my army of knife-wielding crazy goblins. I've given them all energy drinks and told them go nuts. And well, here we are. Reduce projectile damage. There's not enough medication in the world for this goblin army. They cannot and will not stop. Why is it yelling at me about the tab menu? What did I forget? Oh no, it's just sitting there. I forgot that button just stays there. But I had a few things in mind for today, but brain is just not up to the task of any of them today, which is why we're doing this now. It's like I had teased the other day, today was probably going to be the day I started, and may not have made the only day of original Monster Hunter, and I'm like, you know, no, if I try to do that, I'm both going to make myself angry, and I'm going to probably fall asleep at the wheel. So that would just have been no good for anybody. Because the early parts of original Monster Hunter are fucking boring. Just to put it bluntly. I also forgot that the in-game timer and real-time don't actually match up, so this is probably gonna be like an hour of the stream that is this half-hour E-rank survive. So I just looked at the stream time, looked at the clock up there, I'm like, huh, you know, something about that doesn't add up. This is fine. And then I debated that new, like, zombie survival roguelike that came out, I think it was yesterday? Either it was yesterday or the day before. And then I realized, at the very least, at my level of understanding with that game is incredibly slow. So that was another case of, no, I would pass out probably before we get anything useful done. And it wouldn't help anything. Especially since today's probably going to be relatively short. So. Come on, eventually your shield's going to go down, and then my minions are going to tear you apart. See, like that. This would be incredible if we had projectiles. I'm gonna go ahead and take the cross. 25% better, yes, is always good. But now we got the red goblins, who are much stronger to deal with. It'd be kind of neat if we could actually upgrade our goblins to change color too. Or, you know, get the other summon cards game. Hint, hint. Could I, you know... Could I? No? Okay. No one can say I didn't ask for it. I just didn't get it. I sure didn't get it. Defense boost again. Keep maxing out more cards in the hopes of reducing things in the pool enough that maybe we'll see what I'm looking for. Ha 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 ha. I would be more upset if this wasn't as amusing as it is, that I'm just straight up denied what I'm asking for. I feel like to a certain degree it's only fair considering how powerful the summoner is that I'm being denied getting more summons than just the one. And in a few worlds I would have actually actively chose to do that. But for the purpose of showing you guys more of the summons, I kind of wanted, you know, more of them to show up. Kind of would have been nice. I wonder if there was a change that was made that I didn't notice that's causing this to be a thing. Like maybe the summoner's actually limited now. Which would be actually a fairly good change overall. Because of, like I said, the 3 summon special just being impossible to lose. Who is at the range I went to with it. Sure, we'll take thick skin. That seems fine. I may or may not have just been following an icicle thinking it was an arrow at the edge of the screen. Don't mind me. Everything is fine. Remember, brain no worky so goody right now. So, I'm gonna be mostly just going off of pure instinct and reflex for the most part. And some mild calculation in the background that is probably not actually going to be heeded properly by my brain or body. I am happy though, because I finally actually made 2 different pieces of art yesterday, which is a new record for me of late, because usually I can only get 1 thing done at a time a day. They were both simple things, but you know, I'm just happy to be becoming more productive again. With a little luck, I'll be able to keep that momentum. Because I do have a thing to potentially work on when we're done here today, though. In the current state of things, we'll see how that goes. You know what? Sure. Raise the corruption. What do I have to fear when I have an army backing me? If anyone else was expecting the army to magically disappear the second I raised the corruption, good news, I was expecting it too. I was really waiting for it. But it didn't happen, so everything's fine. We got hard leather now, which I assume lets us summon kobolds, which I'm assuming are what the red-looking goblins are, even though that's not really what a kobold is, but it's fine. I mean, I guess it depends on what universe is kobold, because I think kobold is a term for a few other things as well. Words are complicated. There we go, we got the cactus summon weapon now too. Double my health regen, double my defense, get a little bit more damage mitigation, and make it more corrupted. Sure! I've gotta hang out here for 10 more minutes to get the rift anyway, so why not? More enemies! There we go, immovable object. Hands are off the controls, though I have no means of collecting those gems, so I am gonna have to move at some point. Also, I'm a little sad that my plan to make my goblins tiny did not happen, because I just wasn't getting enough ways to reduce my projectile size to keep making them smaller. But it would have been very funny if they just run around stabbing things in the ankles. Just, I'm gonna get you. Just keep taking more cards out of the pool. There we go. There's all the crystals. Yeti's Heart isn't bad, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish off Thunder Spirit. Get it out of the legendary pool. There we go. We finally get another summon. Now we got eyes flying around too. They're not gonna do much different than the goblins because they're not designed to be different, but they're faster is their main shtick. They fly around, slam eye first into things, and somehow that kills things. How? Well, that's not to question it too much. We almost have screen-wide pickup range, so that's nice. Sure, go ahead and decrease healing. Oh wow, that gave us a lot of health. Like, I read the number, but reading the number and processing what that number means in reality can sometimes be a very different thing. And that should have also massively inflated the health of all of our summons, which is the important part of that. Because the idea is for them to have enough health that they will be able to just tank their way to victory until they time out. And by the time they time out, I should be replacing them. I'm just fine. Which allows me basically free reign of the world. Especially once we start getting our eye summon upgraded more. So we can just continue clouding the screen with units. Or, you know, get any other summon as well, because I wouldn't mind getting to see if any of the other summons do something different, because I assume that they all do what they normally do on the battlefield, which will mostly be just walk around. But if I can get the one that lets me summon my own goblin mages, then we'd have our own projectile units, which would be nice. For now, though, more eyeballs. That's a lot of cactus. And then there isn't. I don't know what this mass migration of cacti is, but I'm kind of concerned about it. I cannot fight ecological disaster with an army of goblins. Actually, I suppose I could. I would just have to have them start planting trees and doing more productive things than stabbing people in the ankles. But where's the profit in that, though? And I suppose we could go into construction with my army of goblins too. That would be a more stable business than the business of slaughtering thousands. Because eventually I'm gonna run out of thousands of things to kill, right? You would think. I've got to think of their future. Which is really my future, but I tell them it's their future so that they are hopefully invested in it happening. Yeah, sure. Get rid of the lower end cards now. Especially since we made the higher end more likely to appear to begin with. Sure, go ahead and take trade-off now so we'll get the higher summoning speed. Since it seems like I'm not gonna get projectiles anytime quick. Nom 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 nom. It's kind of wild just how many different things I considered doing today and then ended up here. Like, I filtered through dozens of options before settling on this. Is this just hit the brain just right at the moment? Like, you know what? Yeah, brain tired and stupid. Yep, we'll do this. This is fine. At this point, I'm torn between being surprised that this is still holding together and not surprised. Because this is what I predicted from the get-go, that this was going to be fine. But that initial issue we had really made it seem like this might have actually backfired on me. Oh, hey, there we go. There's maxed Void Spirit, so now I genuinely don't have to move. So anyway, I guess this is the thing that's happening now. Autopilot mode engage. Sure, just in case somehow I get hit hard enough to die instantly, we'll take the Phoenix Totem. There are still the gems that I didn't pick up before. You'll also notice that the summon cap for the eyes is higher than the goblins. But they also have less health, and I think they do less damage? I didn't actually pay attention and calculate that. So I could go either way on that one. In fact, let's take a quick look. 1,931, 1,699, though this is 2 levels away from being finished. So they might actually end up with health parity relatively. Pretty hefty damage difference though, 13k versus 79k. Though this does have the 87.5% damage modifier. What happens if I flip that over here? Yeah, that makes it a lot more even. I don't have any need for it to be even, though. I just was curious whether that was gonna actually balance that scale at all or not. Meanwhile, back to the senseless slaughter. Keep getting cards out of the pool till we hopefully get what I'm looking for. I'll be genuinely impressed if any enemies survive entering the screen most of the time right now. Sure, go ahead and get my health regen to allow me to get to double health. Even though we're never gonna reach max health at this rate, because our max is right now... not actually anything too crazy, it's just 1,500. But we have, like, super slow healing. Ooh. What if I got more max health and dealt more damage based on missing health? That's like the best option for this character, since this character's health bar does not necessarily matter, barring projectiles. So if we could just like focus on a crazy like berserker style, we would be unstoppable. Not that we aren't basically unstoppable already. Hey, kill 4,000 mummies with summoners. Now we got the Pharaoh Mask. Getting all them unlocks. I don't remember if those unlocks are immediately available or not, so I don't know if any of them are gonna show up. Hopefully some of them do, because I don't have any intention of doing multiple summoner runs today. But it'd be nice. So as it stands, unless we like somehow spontaneously combust in the next 3 minutes, we should be getting Rift unlocked just fine. Not that there was ever any real doubt, I don't think. Aside from like maybe a minute of doubt when everything went sideways and I ran out of goblins. There we go, recursion's maxed out now. Oh yeah, I can look around a little bit. Look over there on the left, all the skeletons dying. Look over there on the right, all the skeletons are still dying. Oh no. Yeah, this really doesn't seem to be working out for them, this whole attacking me en masse thing. All it's doing is giving me more experience. But you know, by all means, keep doing that, because I'm all for giving me more. But it doesn't seem like the most viable strategic decision they could be making right now. I'm also trying to build up to 100% crit chance, since apparently I didn't have that unlocked either, even though I thought I had gone over 100% at some point. But I think it needs like 100% base crit chance for it to properly unlock. Okay, never mind. I thought for a second my goblins had all died, but they're just in a clump over there doing a thing. You know, they're just out there doing goblin things. I don't think we're gonna get much in the way of equipment out of this, though. Because I think equipment primarily comes from the main mode, not survivor's mode. Look at him down there. He's having a great time. He's had too much caffeine. He can't stop. Raise the enemy count. Nom, 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 nom. Look at all of them. Look at all of them die. Your army is no match for my army. Quality over quantity. Even though I have like 40 soldiers myself, don't worry about that part. I could just destroy my defense multiplier right now. Let's not do that. That'd be very silly of me. I think I did just reduce my critical chance though, like a fool. Oh well. I don't think we were gonna get to 100% crit chance before 2 more minutes passed anyway. So that does beg the question, how is this run gonna end? Short of me like voluntarily quitting. That is gonna be one complication to this plan, huh? Something I may need to figure out soon. Considering the unlock will happen in like a minute here. And even if I start walking around, I'm not gonna be able to reach any of the enemies because my summons are just too effective. Oh hey, fire. Yeah. There we go. Make them heavy, make them a little slower. Maybe if they're slower, enemies will start getting through. But even if enemies get through to me, I don't know if they're gonna be able to kill me anytime quick. Especially at the rate I'm healing from all the elites getting chewed to pieces. Like, I may legit just need to wait for a boss fight to happen and hope that they don't instantly rinse the boss. Because I don't remember if survival mode ends or if it's endless. If it's endless, we might actually be here for a while, which is gonna, you know, complicate matters slightly. That's going to be contrary to my intentions. Which is, in hindsight, something I should have thought of ahead of time. The wime. Whack. Whack him once, phase 1 gone. Whack him twice, phase 2's gone. It's like, look at the sheer amount of worms he's summoning. And the fact that we're just chewing right through them all like they don't matter. Is good news, they don't. So he's dead. Sure, gold doesn't matter here. There we go. 30.1. But now you'll notice the timer's speeding up. That's the fun thing about survival mode after a certain point. Is the timer starts going ape. Which is also what makes getting like the 45-minute ones and such actually more viable than you might think, is it doesn't take as physically long. But you have to be able to survive. Which in our current situation we absolutely can. I'm just on the wrong ranking to get the 45-minute thing that I would actually want. I don't think there's even anything else on rank E to get. What it's gonna boil down to now is every level I need to aim for something that raises corruption just to make this hopefully end. Except I'm not getting anything that raises corruption. Because, like, technically I could just quit. And depending on how long this goes for, I may at some point still quit this, but I'm giving it a chance to play out first. Because I think even if we quit, we do get our soul coin payout as if we'd died. As I did with the previous Rogue Genesia set, I'm probably going to chop this into sections again based on run. Plus or minus any like sub 10-minute runs like we had last time, which just get clumped together in a highlight reel of disappointment. Low light reel? I guess it would really be a blooper reel at that point, but at the same time, there's something funny to me about the concept of a low light reel. Also, we definitely broke things considering the worm's attack is still here. It just can't ever finish. Just keep raising that base corruption and see if anything starts actually accomplishing anything. I am starting to get hit by projectiles, so there's that. They're all doing only 1 damage to my thousands of health, but I probably should have taken away my defense. Should have thrown away the defense. There's still a chance for me to do so. I just need to, you know, get it to show up again. I think I was too effective. Like, the corruption increase on this is so small. It doesn't help that we do have some purification bonuses too, so with actively trying to die, I have gained enough health to be over my max health. Maybe if I go faster, maybe I'll be able to outrun my defenses. I must outrun my a guard. Ah! Why is this working? Why is this a thing that's happening right now? And yeah, that was lowering my crit chance. That's what I was afraid of. There we go. We at least gained Lunar Inferno from having 1,000 defense. Hooray! Not what I was intending to do, but more unlocks. Hooray! Maybe if I just start changing direction wildly, they won't know what to do. I need to like get my defenses stuck or something. So that I have a hope of getting killed by something. I am getting hit. Wait, actually, we're on the desert map. I have a plan. It's called smash my face into a cactus because the cacti do hurt. Fun fact, this cactus is doing negligible damage to me. This is a problem. Because I think this is how I threw the summoner run I had, actually, is I just stood on top of a cactus until I died. Because there was no way else I could find for things to actually be able to harm me. We could just massively swing the purification. Which actually getting maxed out Light Spirit wouldn't have been a bad idea, because we do need that for something. Am I actually making an appreciable dent in my hit points? The answer is no. At 10 hit points at a time, I don't think we're getting through 7,000 health anytime quick. Also, when did I get 7,000 health? Even I don't know. Yeah, with 7,000 health, there's no way we're dying, so I'm just going to end the run manually. We gained a little bit out of that. Just, you know, a little bit. Just a little bit. We unlocked mushrooms, goblin hand, hard leather, living thorns, wind feathers, lunar inferno, the rift. Oh, I didn't actually want rift that much anyway. Phone, what do you want? Ow, useless. And of course the mummies. So we gained 6 weapons for the summoner out of that, a little survival run.